Hey everyone, welcome to this week's The Weekly Wrap. I am Jamie Vardy and this is my weekend review. This week has been an interesting week. This one has been around three things, and it's actually mindset, the quality of people that you have around you and that you are actually around, and also your communication skills in asking for what you want, listening to what people ask for of you, and then receiving from both ends. Receiving from my end for the things that I verbalize that I want and or need and am more looking to get, and equally also listening to what the receiving party has got to then actually reciprocate the other way and listening to what they say and being able to deliver back to them. And this can only come about by being around quality people. So the question is that I've asked myself immensely this week, it's been a very clear and clarifying week for me around the quality of people you have in your sphere of influence, your sphere of direct impact, which is the two-way street of the push-pull side of things, right? So they're pushing information out and then they're pulling things back in from both sides of it. Because at the end of the day, it's a bit like rowing. Remember the old... Well, for those old enough, when you get the big redwood trees or the big gum trees, and before all the powered tools came in, they had the big long bow saws, and there was a guy on each end of it, and they'd each have to push and pull at the same time, right? So you're kind of cutting a tree that's this round or bigger, and you've got your big saw, and one person can't do it alone. It takes teamwork of two. And you're there, one pushes while the other one pulls. Push, pull, push, pull. It's that type of thing with communication. And this is what I referred to this week. It's a metaphor that I actually adopted because my grandfather, I remember him when he was cutting trees when I was a little kid. And he would actually use an axe, not a saw. But what I realized was the teamwork and the energy that it went to go into cutting it, because there was actually two guys lopping a tree at the same time. And they would come in with their axe to cut it with the objective of lopping this tree and having it fall. Now, one person could do it hypothetically in 10 minutes. It took only two people 3 minutes. So it was a compounding multiplier effect by working in unison of actually knowing exactly where to lay the cut and how to go about it. So for me, the cutting down of a tree, and I use the metaphor of the big saws that used to be then had handles on the end. I'd be on one end pulling, pushing, and someone would be on the other end. It's that type of thing with communication. It's been a very poignant thing of impact for me this week as to what the real quality of people are that are in your direct circle of influence, and then the outer circumference of that, of those are able to get things done for you, with you, by you, and essentially together. So for me, this week's weekly wrap is around one of where have I come from with my circle of influence of friends and associates and colleagues and family and relations and school friends and whatever else, and where am I going over here with those people that are still very like-minded in what they're wanting to do as well. We are in completely different sectors, completely different segments. This misnomer that you must come from an industry to have knowledge in the industry is actually exactly that. It's a misnomer. You don't actually need to know it if you have the right mindset of being able to listen with both ears, observe with both eyes, and speak once and get clear communication down, because when there are quality people involved, it doesn't matter what the expertise is required for a particular industry or a sector of society, because when you are good at what you do, you can communicate clearly, concisely, and have everything synthesized across it. There is already a pre-existing skill set and knowledge bank available to us in whatever it is that we're looking to step into or are already a part of. We don't need to hold that knowledge bank internally in ourselves. We can draw into it and extract from that. And this week has been all about that. And then from this position of where currency is right now, as in current time and currency of flow, energy, monetary value, impact, like sustainability, everything. How do you take it from here? And you put the trajectory into it and you forecast it and take it out, right? The only way you can go out with it is by having the quality people. So for me this week is the circle of influence, the quality of people within that, their ability to listen with both ears, look with both eyes, and speak once with this it's high impact communication. Sometimes the less that's said, the more direct the focus is. So that for me is this week's takeaway for the weekly wrap. my question to you is what sort of quality people do you have in your circle of influence and the outer circumference of that? And are they bringing value? Are they adding value? And or are they taking value from it? Now, the taking value from it is not a bad thing, because it's one thing to take the value because it will come through in reciprocation on the other side of that flip side, as long as they're quality people and it's the two-way street. So it's not always an even symbiosis. Sometimes it takes a while for it to circumnavigate and come back, and that's okay, as long as you know you are working with quality people. And in this day and age, it's few and far between, because everyone is in for the quick fix. Today, this week, everyone has this short term, like, I need to get it done here and now. And everyone's just got this closed eyes, and I close my eyes for a reason, this short-sightedness of not looking past a fortnight, a month, 2 months, or even the quarter. They're not looking for the long tail of it, the long view, the long play. Everything I'm doing right now has a minimum of 5 years gestation. 5 years. Now, 5 years goes super quick. Now, people say, well, a lot can change in 5 years with the way technology is working and everything else. I don't disagree, but the one thing that does not change is the human connectedness. We need to re-humanize so many elements of organizations, so many elements of the entities that are companies these days, that are societies, that are suburbs, because there is a dehumanizing effect going on right now. People blame it on things like this, right? On technology. I don't believe so. What I believe technology is a pure extrapolation, and it's a visual reminder as to what's already going on in here, in our stomach, in our guts, in our sacral, and also in our mind. I don't blame technology on any of this. It's purely highlighting and showcasing the good people, the quality people, from those that can no longer hide. And it's all here, plain as day, which is why I'm doing my weekly wrap, which is why I've committed to the 52 weeks of it. Off the top of my head, I don't actually know even what week I'm up to right now, but we're well into 2022, and I'm getting into the groove of it. I am not as clear as I would like to be. In my own mind is like, you can do better, you can do better, you can do better. That's great, and I will continue to do better with how I do these weekly wraps. But for me, it's a discipline thing, it's a staying focused thing, and at the end of the day, I cannot be a quality person to you in the consulting work I do, in the client relations work that I do, in the customer feedback and service and customer experience and journey mapping and all those things that I do with people, unless I'm accountable to myself, which is why the weekly wrap is really important to me. It's my own vlog, my own video log journey, and basically documentation. It's my own, it's the Jamie Barty Encyclopedia Britannica of me and myself. So at certain points through this process, definitely at the halfway mark, at the 26-week mark, I'm going to stop and look at week 1 and week 26 and go, holy cow, you've come a long way. And I want to see the quality of who I am as a human being, how I communicate, what I'm sharing, the insights, the knowledge, and so on and so forth, and how I contextually break things down with the first principles mindset of not labeling things and just looking at things for the way they are, and then rehumanizing it back in so we can connect into it and actually advance and leapfrog our way forward with things. So that's it for me this week. I am really, really excited. Things are getting some good traction. And like I said, mindset is one thing. The quality of people that are around you is the other thing. And the communication skills as well is just paramount. Sometimes the communication skills that we learn the most are from the innate way and the natural way that others communicate in themselves. Because when you find someone that is authentic in their soul, the way they communicate is like no one else, and we can take massive learnings from that. And I know for one, I'm someone like that as well. I am somewhat of an outcast in the areas of communication, because I can go so macro, not even 35,000 feet, beyond that. Super high chunk, and I can come down with precision GPS location and go, your pain spot is here. And I can tap into it straight away. So what I can do is I can actually see what's going on, and I am learning every single minute of the day now to communicate those skills more and more and more. And in a part of my consulting that I do around contextual intelligence, first principles based as far as stacking and collapsing things and bringing it down to a single line, and then rebuilding it from there, rehumanizing the experience, reorganization of the organization so that the culture comes back in a way that is not only sustainable right now, but actually harnesses growth internally and helps it go out, not just from an internal sector point of view, but also extremities that can come and tap into it, that can bring and add extreme value, unfathomable value that sits just outside of you, basically just like outside of the screen, that we can pull in. And that's what I've been doing. That's what I've been learning. That's what I've been bringing to organizations of recent. And I can tell you right now, the results are phenomenal. So I'm very excited for what the next few weeks has here and opening up my circle of influence and the quality people that are in it. So take care. See you all next week. And that's the weekly wrap. See ya.